And you know what, guys? I have the amazing opportunity to have a very, very professional person here. And it just so happens she's my wife, Amanda Ellis, and she's been teaching for God knows how long, for so many years. I'm sure she'll introduce herself and tell you a little bit about herself. So, Amanda, tell us a little bit about, your journey in teaching and, what you find has happened. Just tell us a little bit about yourself at present.
Okay, so my name's Amanda, which you already know. I am trained to be a teacher at Bishop Grosseteste College in Lincoln, and I graduated in 2000. And I have teaching experience in the UK, in Germany as well, in German primary schools, in bilingual schools, and I'm currently working in a school in Essex.
So what do you think is how can I say? What do you think is working well in today's curriculum in the schools, and what do you think is not working?
I'm not sure a lot is working well.
Right. and why would you say that? Being a teacher of many years, have you seen a change in the curriculum and the state of the school system?
I think I don't know. I think the biggest change is the children. And because the curriculum of the school system hasn't changed, that's why the two don't marry together, I would say. But the biggest change is with the children, and there's a lot more children with different needs, different diagnoses, and teachers are trained to be educators, and they don't have the formal training generally to work with children with emotional needs or autism or ADHD, and so that's where there's a big gap, I think, in how to, support all children.
And so you feel that there's so would it be fair to say that it would be more of a educational problem, a deficit within the educational system, or teaching or training? Would you say training would be possibly the what's needed in today's curriculum for the schools for the children?
Yeah, definitely training, but also our schools are not equipped well enough. We don't have the right resources for different children. We don't have rooms like breakout rooms. We don't have, I think every school would benefit from some kind of learning hub for children that find mainstream difficult. I think each school would benefit from having maybe a pastoral team, even in primary schools, that deal with just the emotional sides of children. I don't think we have the resources, and I know that's because we don't have the funding.
So when you say there's so many different parts, from what I'm understanding, of the holes in the education system that would benefit children from getting better. Because I remember when I was in school, we used to teach, our teacher used to teach us so many different things, and I don't apply it to my life, and so it becomes a point where, okay, we remember certain things from our GCSE times back in the days, but as it comes down to how to apply that to your everyday life, and even perhaps even to make a business or a livelihood from it, it's not possible. So why do you think that the education and the curriculum is putting so many different things? What do you have, like 10, 15 subjects for children of like 7-year-olds? How would that benefit the children?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't. You don't feel like you're doing anything properly,
right,
because you're teaching so many different subjects, and you're teaching things that not all children are ready to learn, and also that not all children see important to learn.
Yeah.
And I think it's always geared towards the final exam in the GCSEs. So it really is a memory test at the end of it. So if you're good at remembering, you're going to do well in your GCSEs. If you're not good at remembering in a formal way, you're not going to do well in GCSEs.
So it benefits children who are more attentive, as opposed to
children that know
retain.
how to. I think children that know how to not play, but how to work the system.
Right.
So if you tell those children what to do to get a 9, then they'll be able to do it. But they're also those children that will do it, but it goes against them.
Right.
Like they're being manipulated to do that to get the 9.
Right.
It's not. It goes against their character, really.
Right.
Because it's not really what they want to learn, and it's a lot of hours spent on memorising things they're not going to use or remember, like you said.
Yeah. So in a ratio, how many children do you have in your school? In your class, sorry?
30.
30. So in a ratio of like 30 children, what's the percentage of children that you think would fit into the school system and those that don't?
On the surface, you could say maybe 50%. But I think if you look below, they're just masking and they're just pretending and they're hiding because they're trying to fit in. Like I said, they're trying to get what they need to get to get the 9 or to get this grade. So on the surface, that's what it appeared to look like.
And those who are failing that standard, how would you begin to cater for that deficit? How would you, as an educator, cater for those who can't reach the mark? Because I can imagine like 30 kids, and you've got some who are, have some issues and others that don't. How would you cater for? How do you balance that?
If I had autonomy in my class, then I wouldn't be teaching all the range of subjects that I'm teaching.
Right.
I would spend longer on certain topics. I would definitely have a different approach that would take a lot longer over the course of a few weeks.
Right.
So we don't actually have a lot of free range,
right,
to be honest, because we have to hit those standards. If you're not seen to be hitting those standards, then that, it's all about making a school look good. It's all about grades. It's all about percentages and hitting certain marks. It's not really about the individual child.
Yeah. And so just very quickly, before we close this short introduction, guys, this is a short introduction into, someone who's been an educator for 25 years, and, she's worked all around the world, in Germany, all around Europe, and she knows what she's talking about. Mental health, very quickly, in a nutshell, what would you say would be is the effects of the education system on children growing up? Some who have a deficit, and then some who, obviously are reaching a mark. What would you say that the mental health implications could be brought up? Once these children get older and they know they can't fit in, they can't from school. What in a nutshell, what would you say would be the mental health issues that certain kids would be challenged by?
Well, like you said, the implications. So if they're not fitting in, or they feel that they're not fitting in, or if they're not achieving, then they're going to feel anxiety and they're going to feel stress. And so the implications of that, it can lead to all kinds of different pathways. It can lead to rebellion, but they're not rebellious, but it's leading that way because there's not the support to help them through what they're going through. And if they're coming in regularly to a classroom, trying to hide themselves, trying to fit in with everybody else. I was once given an analogy about like a Coke bottle. So if you imagine a Coke bottle with a lid screwed on, and throughout the day that Coke bottle's being shaken and shaken and shaken and shaken. Eventually, when that lid comes off, it just explode. And then the children deal with the shame of that. You don't think they do, but then they feel ashamed about it. So they push you away even more because they feel like they've done something that they can't come back from. And so that's why I think teachers need to be trained how to speak to them, the tone that they use with them, patience, all these kinds of things that I suppose you wouldn't get at 4 years of teacher training college. It's things that you have to, learn to adapt. And every child, we know this, every child's different, and that's what makes teaching so difficult. You've got 30 different children with 30 different needs, and you can't tailor the curriculum to every child, unfortunately. So children are doing things they don't want to do.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Listen, guys, this is a short snippet that we have on the Voice of Healing, talking completely about mental health, men's mental health and children's mental health. Please log in and subscribe and share, because this involves the next generation of our children. And to be honest with you guys, this is so important that we air this, that people know and understand this is where your children go. And so please subscribe, and we'll give you a short snippet for the next episode. And we're spending more time with Mrs. Ellis, and we hope that you guys will take something out from this. And thank you so much for Voice Healing Your Skull.
Do you know what? See, that's how a child would feel. Because they're acting in front of the camera, they're trying to find the right things to say, and then they go home and go, oh God.
Yeah.
That's how, not just children, but adults generally. And then let's say that you are what they call neurodivergent, or you don't fit in the box. A person's going to feel it even more.
Yeah.
They're going to be even
I like that
more
embarrassment
tired.
you said,
I picked that as well.
That embarrassment's
you
really
know
good.
why?
Yeah.
Because I've
work on that.
I've learnt that about.
Yeah.
I've learnt that. So, because I do pray for my children, not my children, but I pray for my class when I go into them, because I think it's important, because these are going to be adults. And I worry, the same I worry about my own children. Am I telling them the right thing? Am I teaching them the right thing?
Yeah.
And what I noticed so he's banging the table and he's doing stuff. And the other teachers get angry and stop it, like this. And I don't do that. I let him bang around, I let him roll on the floor.
Yeah.
Now I know he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how to come back from it. So I have to make it easy for him to come back into the class without feeling ashamed.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's all right, you've just had a moment. It is that you can come back from that moment.